If you've been in the self-publishing industry for very long, one of the things you'll quickly discover is that most readers expect there to be an audiobook version of your novel. Paying a professional narrator to narrate your audiobook is extremely expensive. So that really leaves the author on a budget, the self-publisher, with a couple of options. One is to use AI tools to generate the narration from a service on your computer. There's a whole host of problems with that. There's still some question about the copyright on that. There's a lot of people who take issue. They won't listen to an audiobook that's been narrated by AI because they feel like it puts narrators out of business. The other alternative is to do it yourself, which is a lot easier said than done. But I've been looking into it. So I have a short story called Tunnel Town that I'm using as a reader magnet. I'm giving that away. And so I've decided as an experiment, I'm going to narrate that short story and make an audiobook. And so I'm going to take you guys through the process and show you how I've used Linux and tools available on Linux to create my very first self-narrated audiobook. I'm going to do it myself. It's going to be a fun learning experience. I'm going to take you guys along. I'm going to show you the hardware I'm using. I'm going to show you all my equipment. I'll put links in the description, so if you want to buy the same microphone or whatever, you can you can see how I've done this as inexpensively as possible while still trying to maintain a good level of quality. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So this is an HP Pavilion gaming laptop from probably 2020 or 2021. As far as microphone goes, I have this Samson Go mic, and I will link this in the description. And this is kind of a cool little thing. So I got some headphones in here that I use to just monitor what I've recorded, or if I want to listen back to something. These are just Skull Candy wired headphones that I got at Walmart for, I don't know, $9 or $10. I just had them laying around. I didn't buy them for this, but just to have something to review the audio on. And then this is just the cable to connect the microphone. Here's the actual microphone, and this microphone is actually pretty cool. For size comparison, this is a pair of Apple AirPods Pro 2. You can see the microphone is not much bigger than those. So it's super portable if you have to pack up your recording like I do because you don't have a studio. This just folds right up. You can throw it in your backpack. It has a stand, so you can sit it like that, or you can clip it on the monitor like that. So really good, and I've been really impressed with the sound quality, and I think this thing was only like $30 on Amazon or thereabouts. I will link this in the description as well. It does have, you can mount it on different holders. It's got a threaded hole here, but I usually just sit it on a surface and go with it. The only other thing I use is a cheap pop filter that I think I paid about $5 or $6 for, also on Amazon. I'll link that as well. And that just goes in front of the microphone to prevent popping sounds from P's and T's and other hard consonants. So that's pretty much it. I didn't buy the computer with the intent of recording. I actually bought it to play some video games. So excluding the computer, the cost of this setup is less than $50. So definitely not an expensive setup, but I think I'm getting pretty decent audio quality, but we'll see how that goes. So next, let's take a look at the software. So as mentioned, I am on Fedora 40 using the GNOME desktop environment. I have a couple of different pieces of software I've played around with as far as audio recording. Audacity is one of them, but the one I've settled on is called Reaper. It is not a free software, but they do give you a pretty generous free trial, and it's not that expensive if you do decide to buy it. So I'm going to pop that open real quick so we can have a look at it. So the first thing I want to point out is that when you first install Reaper, it's not going to look like this for you because this interface has been customized and configured for audiobook narration or voiceover narration. There's a guy who has a really great YouTube channel and a little series of tutorials that will walk you through how to use this software and how to configure it this way so that it's very convenient for recording voiceover. I'm going to pause right here and I'm going to put his channel and his information on the screen, and then I'm also going to link that down in the description below. So I highly recommend, if you're going to try to do this, that you go through his whole course. It's free, and then you'll be all set to go. So before we get too far into Reaper, I want to show you my recording studio. It's important to have a place with good acoustics, which in my case, the only place I have that comes close is a walk-in closet. So when I'm working on this audiobook, I'm going to have the computer sitting here. I've got the microphone and pop filter right there. The microphone's here behind the pop filter. And I'll just reach up here and start my recording. I read the book off of my phone, and I just speak into the microphone right here. So I want to just take a second to demonstrate some of the cool features that I use in Reaper a lot. I'm not going to do anything comprehensive. There are other videos for that, but just a few of the things that I do. So I'm going to play a short little clip here. Kurt tugged the leash and headed down the wide creek bed. Now, I don't know if you can hear that on the recording. I can definitely hear it in my headphones. But right here, there's a mouth pop type sound. And Reaper makes it super easy to get rid of these kind of things. So you can zoom in or out to identify, to zoom in on a specific area. And right there's the mouth pop we want to get rid of. So it's just as easy as going up to the time bar right there and just selecting over it, right-clicking, and then going down to split items at time selection. And that creates a separate clip around this. And now all I have to do is select that clip and hit delete, and it goes away. And if I don't want like sort of a chop in the sound there, I can actually drag these clips over one another so that they blend together, and then you don't have any of that kind of choppy sound to your audio. So that's one of the things that I've used quite a lot. In fact, if I zoom out, you can see all of these little red lines where I've made a lot of mistakes and corrected a lot of mistakes. Anyway, Reaper makes it super easy to do that. That's one of my most used features. Another feature that I use pretty regularly is called auto punch recording. So if I arm the track for recording, you can see the sound thing here. The microphone's actually picking this up and feeding it to the app. And there are different recording settings. You can right click on this button, and I pretty much keep it on auto punch all the time. So basically, if this line of dialogue, or not dialogue, but this line of the story, if I didn't like the way this sounded, so I'll just play it real quick. Kurt tugged the leash and headed down the wide creek bed. So if I didn't like that, and I only wanted to re-record that one section, I can just draw a selection around it, and I can move the I can move this all the way back over here. Okay, so I can start reading from my script or reading from my novel before the actual recording takes place. So if you'll notice, when I click record here, nothing will be recorded over anything except the stuff that's actually inside the selection. Monster, come on. So see, that just sort of recorded silence over it because I didn't have it in front of me to read it. But the point is, you can set it so that it's only going to start recording at a certain point and ending at a certain point in your selection. So if you talk too long, you take too long to say the line or something, it's not going to record over the next line. So that's super useful. Another thing that's super useful is the undo key, because obviously I don't want to delete that line, so I can just hit Control Z or go up to Edit and select Undo and get back to where I was. Alright, and a third feature that I use a lot is the ability to create tags. So if I wanted to make a note to myself to come back and fix something later, I can right click in the timeline up here, and I can click insert marker, or you can use the keyboard shortcut, and I can give it a name like bad line re-record, and you can color code it. Maybe I want to make it red. And click OK. And so there's my flag right where the green arrow is where it will set it. And the other thing that's kind of cool is when you come back to edit and you need to go back and find these things, you can hit the bracket keys on the keyboard, and you can see I've already got a bunch. I usually mark where the first time a character speaks, or sometimes I'll mark several places where they speak so that I can try to do the voice consistently. But these are just super easy to scroll through. You can go, either bracket will take you either forward or backward through your notes, which can be super helpful. And the very last thing I'll show you about Reaper is the ability to create space. So if I click here on the timeline and I right click, and I can choose split items at cursor. Okay. Now if I needed to record a longer line here, I needed more time to say this line, something like that, I can actually click and hold, and I can drag. And now I have all this space here in between. And so I could start here and I could record whatever I wanted to, and it would be right here in the middle of the track, ready to go. So thanks for watching. I actually learned quite a bit about audiobook narration and how to use this software. I also learned that I'm not very good at it. It took me a lot longer than I'm sure it would take a professional narrator, and I'm sure a professional narrator would have produced a much cleaner, better sounding audiobook. However, this is a short story that I give away for free as a reader magnet. I'm also going to give the audio away for free. It's going to be available on my YouTube channel. I will put a link to the audio story in the description if you want to go listen to it, and tell me what you think. If you have any feedback, suggestion, comments, gratuitous snide remarks, whatever floats your boat, I'm happy to hear any feedback. I don't know that this is something that I would try to do for my full-length novels, because it was extremely time-consuming, particularly the editing, going back through and just fixing all of the little mistakes. I've probably listened to this recording 10 times, and I'm sure I've still missed a few mistakes. So I definitely understand why audiobook narrators charge what they charge, and they're definitely earning their pay. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope this was helpful for someone.